why go to Clemson?
Well, I grew up around Clemson my whole life. I was a little closer to University of South Carolina, but I grew up around that rivalry and I was pretty familiar with both schools. And I got in contact with the coaches at Clemson a couple weeks ago, and I went up there for a visit and they were all fantastic. I really enjoyed my visit, and after meeting with Coach Sweeney, everything felt right and it was just the right move for me. So Clemson has a unique situation in that they lost a quarterback after the spring game. And that's when I initially reached out to them and they got back to me. And they needed a guy to come in and compete and win whichever spot I can win. And that's an exciting opportunity for me because I'm competitive and I was a backup at Stanford, and I'll initially be going in as a backup at Clemson, and I think I thrive in an environment where I can compete and try to get on the field.
You had some experience when Luck was there, learning under him, and you had experience, I'm sure, learning under Hogan too, right? What do you feel like you can bring to the table to kind of push Stout as you guys go into summer camp once you get on campus?
Well, one of the things I learned at Stanford from Andrew and just the team mentality as a whole was the toughness that we brought to the game. And that came from hard work, hard preparation, basically approaching everything as if this was the ultimatum of your life. And I'm going to bring that to every practice and every weightlifting session and every conditioning. And I hope that'll push those guys. And if Cole feels inspired by that, then that'll be fantastic. But I think the whole team will really know what I'm about, and I'm about working.
Obviously, every kid's dream is to be the starting guy. Do you feel like in any way possible you can go in, and even though the Stout's been named the starter, can you go in and take his job?
Well, the coaches have been pretty clear that Cole is the starter, and he's earned that. And I've been a backup at Stanford, and I will come in and be a backup initially at Clemson, and that's okay with me, and I'm willing to work. I'm going to come out and prepare like I am the starter, and that's what I do. That's what I did at Stanford, and that's what I'll do at Clemson. Prepare to be the starter and come out every day as if I were the starter.
So, and I'll ask this too, Stanford had obviously tons of success when you were there, and you come into a program in Clemson whose past 3 years has probably had the best 3 years in a row for their school, and probably in the entire history of the program. Mm-hmm. How neat is it to kind of be a part of this tradition now as you finish out your career?
Yeah, it was a great experience at Stanford, and being around that kind of success, I really learned what it takes to be that successful, and that goes along with that work ethic of the team that we pushed every day. And going forward to Clemson, I'm really excited for ACC football and all of that. I'm excited to try to maintain that success and reach that with these guys also.